Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylin Alex. If you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you so much for tuning in. So today's video kicks off the start of this jewelry series. I was gonna do it in one video, but it would have been literally so long with so many different talking points because each brand is different. So I was like, let's just minimize it, let's separate it, let's stay focused. So this video is gonna focus on our fave Van Cleef and Arpels. This one specifically is gonna be for my bracelets. My 5 motif malachite bracelet and my sweet mother of pearl bracelet. So let's go ahead and get started. Off the rip, I wear them frequently. I wear my 5 motif malachite paired with one of my tennis bracelets and my sweet mother of pearl bracelet together. I find that this combo is just perfect for me. I love the way it looks, especially when I have my other rings on. I take off my tennis bracelet and my 5 motif bracelet. However, my sweet mother of pearl bracelet, I have not taken off since I gotten it. Today, me recording this video, the sweet bracelet is $1,420 and the malachite 5 motif bracelet is $5,300. I have had the sweet bracelet for about 5 years now, and then the 5 motif bracelet for about 3 years. They're both 18 karat gold. The sweet is mother of pearl. These are natural stones. So they're not just like colors, they're actual stones. They're all variations of different stones with the exception of the hammered gold, which is hammered gold, and the ganache, which is gold lasered, like a special way they do the ganache one, but the others are actual stones. So this stone is a pearl stone, and then this one is the malachite stone. Now, because of how delicate these two stones are, and they are delicate stones, you have to take extreme caution, or you should take extreme caution when you are wearing them. They shouldn't necessarily come into contact with lotions, water, perfumes, really like sweat, or like for like in terms of working out or something like that. So yeah, they should be taken very well care of because of how delicate the stones are. Now with the pearl stone, over time, with daily use, it is going to alter the color. You can avoid that by not wearing it every day, or only wearing it in situations where you're not going to come into contact with those items that could alter the appearance, so you could kind of preserve it a little bit more. However, the malachite stone, over time, it naturally becomes more matte. Now you could preserve it, I guess, as much as possible if you avoid wearing it, but if you're going to wear it, it's gonna speed up the time of it becoming more matte. And as you can see, mine is a little bit more matte, but the bracelet does that over time naturally because that's just the malachite stone in general. It's gonna do that over time. However, with the mother of pearl stone, over time, if it comes in contact with like liquid, specifically like water, it is gonna shrink. It's gonna like shrink in terms of the actual stone. Now, it's not to say that it's gonna like shrink inside of the gold plate that it's in and disappear, but with the contact of water, it does alter the natural state of the stone, which is natural. It's gonna happen if you're wearing it more frequently than not. I would honestly say that the mother of pearl bracelet, for me, in the sweet, is more wearable than the 5 motif. Now you can wear these, of course, however you like, but for me, I prefer to just wear the sweet mother of pearl daily, and I take off my 5 motif just because it is a little bit louder than I would like to wear every day for me. So I do take it off, but like I said, my sweet I wear daily. So the bracelet will scratch, as with any jewelry when you're wearing it, especially daily. You're gonna get some scratches because you write, your arm kind of hits things you don't even notice. Anytime your hand is resting on something and you move it, just daily activities, it's gonna get some scratches. So on my bracelet, for instance, the malachite one, you can kind of see some of the scratches or just, you know, wear on it, it's not very noticeable. If you're far away or even if you're up close, you really don't notice it. But I know because it's my bracelet, you know, how it was when I first gotten it versus how it is now. And there is wear. As you can see, that stone, some of the luster is there, but you can see that it's a little bit more matte rather than shiny. And that's another thing with this bracelet, specifically the malachite one. Each stone is different, so no bracelet is gonna be identical to the next. These are natural stones, so the veins in them is gonna alter depending on which one you choose, as well as the, I'm gonna say like the color or the consistency of the stone. Some are a little bit brighter than others. I happen to have chosen a stone that was a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more green. I had the option of choosing another one that had a little bit more of the white veins in it. That's what those lines are called. They're like their veins. I didn't really want that because I wanted a more emerald malachite. I wanted that color. So I chose one that didn't have as many of the lighter veins in it. But because it is a natural stone, you may not have that option, and we'll get into that in a second. You may not have that option, number one. And number two, it's hard to get an identical bracelet because of how the stones are, how stones are created, you know, how they come about. But I do, and you can tell, you can most certainly tell that the pearl has lost its luster a bit. It does look a bit more dull, or I say gray in tone rather than pure white. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. I haven't had any issues with the bracelet. It matches well with my stack and how I typically like to wear it, and I just love that. Another thing to note with this sweet bracelet is that it comes with a adjustable closure. As you can see here, there are two different sizes. I have it on the last sizing, but I usually would wear it on the first one, whereas the 5 motif bracelet, it does not. It only has one little hook for you to close it. Now you can get these bracelets and jewelry altered in size, so you can either get it shortened, get the chain shortened to fit your wrist, or you can get it lengthened if you need more room, or you can keep it how it comes. I did not get my bracelet, my 5 motif, lengthened or shortened. I wore it as it came. However, you do have the option of adjusting the length if you choose to, as with the sweet as well, because you can actually have the sweet size down to fit a child's wrist, which I think is the most adorable thing. But yeah, you can adjust the chain length if needed. That process usually takes a few weeks. I have gotten, for instance, my necklace lengthened a little bit because I didn't want it too high up on me. Even on the longest length was a little bit too high for my neck, so I did get it lengthened. This is on the longest length, but if I were to make it on the shortest, it'll probably be, you know, somewhere up, it'll be like right here. I have not had any troubles with the wear of my bracelet. I have seen some people that I know had to have their stones replaced, because that will happen. The stone will become cracked on impact, or just daily use, and maybe it just gotten weak over time, and you can experience cracking in the stones, but you can get it replaced. If I remember correctly, you can get them replaced, but you have to get like all of them replaced, I believe, if I remember correctly. But it is an option to have the stones replaced if they do get damaged. I have luckily, thankfully, not experienced that, but I do wear my bracelet. I feel like when you invest this amount into your items and your accessories, you should be able to wear them. You should love them enough to want to wear them, and not just saving them for like a special occasion. Now, if you have a plethora of items in your collection, then of course you can alternate them a little bit more, but you still, even then, may have certain pieces that are just your favorite. And for me, I'm gonna enjoy my items and I wear them, and I wear my items. I do not necessarily avoid perfumes and liquids like lotions on the items. I do, however, try my best to put on those things before I put on the bracelet, which is more recommended. I try to put those items on my skin before I put the bracelet on, so that way I'm not rubbing the actual product on my bracelets, or I'm not actually spraying things on the bracelet. So I try to do all of that before. Now it's inevitable to, you know, it's inevitable. It's gonna come in contact with some of those items, especially if you're wearing them, because you're gonna put it on your skin. It's gonna touch the skin. It's gonna come in contact with some of those do not use items. But the less that it does come in contact with it, the more life that the items will have. You can also get like a white cloth and clean or shine, shall I say, these stones to make them a little bit more vibrant. But for the most part, they're just gonna run their course. Over time, they are gonna wear, and that is okay. I do and will say that you will be able to notice some of the scratching if you're looking at them. For instance, I'm trying to like let you guys see. You see how the luster is not all the way there? And then on some of the pieces, I'll try to zoom in a little bit more, but they do have scratching, and that's to be expected. Even with how delicate the bracelets are, I do not regret getting these. I do not regret getting the Malachite stone, although it is one of the most precious ones in terms of the bracelets. The pearl, I say Malachite is the most precious, but Malachite and pearl are kind of what and what. Pearl is probably even more delicate than Malachite. However, pearl is my birthstone, so of course I was gonna get that one, and I was just drawn to the Malachite. And so I do not regret getting them. My recommendation for these bracelets or any of the pieces is to get what your heart desires. Don't necessarily just go by how well or how often you can wear the items, because what you're gonna notice is that if you get an item that you don't necessarily just love, you're still gonna want to go back and get the item that you actually love, and that's what ended up happening to me. Now, I do believe as of today, a lot of these items are a little bit more sought after, of course, so they're a little bit harder to get. There are wait lists for special and certain items. I know the ganoche, which is the gold one with these razor cuts through in it, is a little bit more hard, as with the Malachite. And the hammered gold is a little bit more harder to get. Those special ones, I would say, you would actually need a client advisor to get, but don't let it deter you from trying. I always suggest at least having the experience of going into a boutique, trying on the one you might like, seeing how well it looks on you, and then, you know, getting an advisor to help you with sourcing one. I do remember that they can you can put a deposit down for an item. They'll do their best to source it, get it in for you, so you can try it, and then you can decide whether or not you want to make that commitment. But you do have that option. Now, I won't say 110% that the experience will go that smoothly, because I have seen and heard of people waiting months before getting their item in these days, just because of how sought after the items have become, especially with the bracelets. To my understanding, the necklaces are a little bit more easier to get, but the bracelets, and it was the earrings, were extremely difficult to try to source, like day of type of thing. But it's possible, and don't let that deter you. So would I recommend these? Absolutely. Like I said, get what your heart desires, get what makes sense for you and in your lifestyle. Although it is not recommended to wear the pearl every day, I wear my sweet every day. I shower with it. The only place that I have not worn it into was ocean water. I've worked out with it. I do everything with my sweet on. I don't take it off. It's still, to me, an item that can be worn daily, and it's not too big. It's also not as loud as like the 5 motif, because it is a smaller one with only one little motif, so it's just there. It's just enough to where you know. However, My malachite one can definitely be worn every day. I see a lot of people wear theirs every day, but it's honestly up to the person how you want to use and wear your items. So I would still recommend these items. I have no regrets. I'm looking forward to adding about 1 or 2 more. I definitely have the earrings on my list, and I want to match my, I want sets. I like a set. So I have almost a set with my mother of pearl. And now I'm working on my set for my malachite. I have not noticed any, major flaws or major issues, even with me not taking care of them as it is suggested. But I have not had any issues, so I'm okay with that. I will say though that the client advisors do a great job of explaining to you what you're getting into when you purchasing these items. They'll tell you what you should and should not do so that you can make a very informed decision in terms of getting the items. So you have that to look forward to, but at the end of the day, you should just get what you want, because the last thing you want to do is walk out of the store with an item that you just like, and then you ended up having to go back and try to exchange it or get another one to get something that you actually do love. So yeah, and I have not had any major issues, and just know that if you do have an issue, it is a remedy for it. So with that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, drop a nice comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I post again, and I will see you in the next video.